La 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 la.
Flags and brass bands do seem to go together. Horns and trumpets are wind instruments, right?
Right.
The flag flaps in response to rapidly moving air, just as a trumpet player's lips do, as your lips will too if you press them together and blow air through them. See? Each time they flap open, they let out a little burst of air. Here, try this.
What's that?
This is a mouthpiece for a trumpet. It's just a hollow tube, but there's a cup in the end that helps the lips to vibrate easily. Go ahead, try it. Brass players call that buzzing the lips. Let's connect a long tube to the mouthpiece.
It sounds kind of like a trumpet.
We'll make the tube even longer. See how the end is flared out?
Now it even looks like a trumpet.
On trumpets and horns, this large opening is called a bell. Let's hear it now.
Hey, I can play the trumpet.
Well, maybe, with practice. With lots of practice. Adding the long tube to the mouthpiece really changed the sound, didn't it? And made it louder, too.
It sure did. What's inside?
What's in a horn?
It looks empty in here.
It seems empty, but we're in a tube of air. A horn wouldn't work at all without the millions of tiny particles that air is made of. They're called molecules. A horn is a tube, or a curved wall, that separates the molecules of air that are inside from the molecules that are outside. When a player starts a buzz in the mouthpiece, each air burst from the vibrating lips causes the molecules to crowd together and push against their neighbors. The pushing and shoving creates a wave-like ripple that moves rapidly out toward the bell, where it leaves the tube and continues through open air until your ear hears it as sound. The distance between the ripples depends upon how fast the lips are vibrating. The player can make his lips vibrate faster if he tightens his lip muscles and blows harder. The ripples in the tube will then form closer together, which makes a higher sound. But the kind of musical notes a tube can produce depends upon its length. So in the past, players could blow a certain range of notes with a horn of one length. But to play a lower range, they needed a longer horn. Fortunately, brass tubing can be bent. So trumpets and horns could be made more compact and easier to hold and carry. Since each tubing length has its own set of notes, different length tubes had to be used for different parts of the musical scale. In 1815, everything changed. A way was found to combine 7 trumpets in one. This wonderful invention was called
The valve.
the valve allowed the trumpet player to change the length of the tube instantly with the press of a button. The valve was invented in Germany by...
Me, Heinrich Stolzer. It was I who invented das valve. It came to me when I was...
But mein lieber Heinrich, it was I, Friedrich Blumel, who invented das valve. And I remember very clearly that I invented it.
Wiener Schnitzel, I tell you it was me, Heinrich Stolzer, who invented das valve, not you.
Nein, it was I, Friedrich Blumel.
Nein!
Yeah!
Well, they argued for years. Think of it. With valves, one trumpet could now do the work of 7. Valves were made in many different styles. Today, the trumpet's bright sound is often accompanied by 3 other instruments in the brass family. The French horn, a valved instrument with many coils. It has a warm, mellow tone, which is controlled by the player's hand inside the bell. The trombone uses a slide to change its length instead of a valve. The trombone has a rich, deep sound. And the tuba. If the tuba were uncoiled, it would be over 20 feet long. It produces the deepest sounds of the brass instruments. They look very different, but each one has a mouthpiece, a bell, and a tube that can be made long and short with a valve or with a slide. When these 4 instruments and a second trumpet are played together, they are called a brass quintet. Let's listen to them play.